FBA fees climbing, I'm losing my grip. Storage costs rising, they'll never let me skip. Refunds I'm eating, returns pile up too. Oh, Amazon, what else will you do? I look at my dashboard, my profits erased. My margins are gone, it's a slap in the face. Prime Day's a promise, but it's such a race. How much will I make if I'm replaced? It's a cruel, cruel number. Fees keep climbing, profits torn asunder. Oh, it's cruel, the sellers wonder how to survive when the margins go under. It's a cruel, cruel number. Every month it's something new to plunder. Oh, it's cruel, it's no wonder we're stuck in this game. The algorithm's thunder.
Yo, Amazon's back, and they got a new scheme. Reimbursement slashed, it's every seller's dream. They're digging deep, taking more from the pot. Let's break it all down, expose what they got. March 25, it's a policy drop. They say manufacturing costs, but we know it's a flop. Give us your cogs, they're demanding the price. But if you don't, they'll estimate nice. Nice for them, not for you. Watch a payout shrink. That comprehensive evil is a corporate wing. Lost in the warehouse, damaged on the floor. Now they pay you pennies, not a cent more. Fees on the rise, profits on the run. They don't lift a finger, but they pocket the fun. We're fair! They shout while they cut our shares. Amazon math, man, it's full of errors. Fees, taking our dough. They're stacking the deck, and it's sellers who owe. Reimbursements? Nah, they're taking us down, but we're still here, we don't mess around. Fees, straight to the top. Amazon's game, it'll never stop. Margins tight, but we keep the grind. Sellers unite, we're one of a kind.
I try to sell my product on Amazon, thought it'd be a breeze. But little did I know I'd be stuck with seller support disease. They never seem to solve my problems, just give me the run around. I'm tired of waiting on hold. My patience is wearing thin, I'll never be found. Amazon seller support, you suck, you suck, you suck. Can't get no satisfaction. I'm out of luck, out of luck, out of luck. You don't care about my business, just trying to make a buck. Amazon seller support, you suck, you suck, you suck.
This one's for the sellers on the grind, getting left on red, wasting all their time. I hit up support, got an auto reply. Thanks for your patience, man, I wanna cry. Inventory lost, my margins are toast. Reps playing tag like the Casper the Ghost. They pass me around, it's a never-ending game. Nobody takes action, everybody shifts blame. My ASIN's down, I'm out of the race. They say they'll escalate, yo, what a disgrace. Amazon seller support, you're breaking my heart. No answers, no fixes, just tearing me apart. Hours in the queue, stuck in the dark. Amazon seller support, you're missing the mark.
Amazon game plan, that is the key. Seller central dashboard, that's where I be. Analyze the funnel, see what we lack, then we optimize. Sellers know it's a fact. I get it poppin', you know that it's lit. Climbing the rankings, ain't no room to quit. I check the data, they notice the stats. I keep the method, that's how you adapt. Metrics are showing, you know it's our cap. Amazon sellers, it's time to react. I'm about that action, I do this with passion. I got them like, whoa, what is this? Huh, whoa.
I don't know, dude. I think everybody's just buying stuff based on reviews and badges or whatever. They don't even know who we are. These customers don't even know the name of my brand. But they keep clicking add to cart like it's part of the plan. They see that Amazon badge and think it's all grand. But yo, they don't even know the name of my brand.
Click, scroll, build your store. Amazon's waiting, what you waiting for? Brand it loud, make it shine. Steven's here to drop the rhyme. Blue tiles, banners, plug and play. Your storefront's live for sell a day. Now listen up, I'm Steven Pope, Amazon guru, I'll help you cope. Step 1, get that trademark stamped. Without brand registry, your Amazon cramped. Head to Seller Central, log in quick. Manage stores tab, yeah, that's the trick. Upload your logo, flex that style. You're about to make Jeff Bezos smile. Where pick a template, marquee or grid. Drop your tiles like a branding whiz. Hero image, big and bold. This store's gonna glitter like digital gold. Scroll, build your store. Amazon's waiting, what you waiting for? Brand it loud, make it shine. Steven's here to drop the rhyme. Blue tiles, banners, plug and play. Your storefront's live, let's sell today. Yo. In the trenches of the Amazon game, trying to survive while it's driving me insane. Nobody warns you, they just claim it's passive income. Nah, it's pain. I'm sitting at a birthday, laughing, chilling, next to a newbie Amazon seller spilling. She's like, Prime so smooth, it's a killer. Then tried to sell, now she's stuck in a thriller. Finding products, yeah, that's the first grind. Scrolling Alibaba, losing my mind. Sample suck, manufacturers decline. I'm like, dang, how's anyone doing this fine? Ship it in, pay for the bubble wrap, but they ship glass bottles in padded crap. Now I got hot sauce leaks, refund stack, customers pissed. Man, I'm under attack. Amazon's a beast, it's a fight, no peace. From SEO to PPC, the hustle don't cease. Think it's passive? Nah, you better increase your tolerance for chaos or face defeat. Trademark wars, brand registry's a scam. They banned my brand, now I'm in a jam. Listings yanked, products ranked and tanked. Lost dogs in the catalog, my account shanked. Now let's talk ads, it's a rabbit hole. 1,000 hours deep, man, it's taking my soul. Weekly negations, bulk sheets for control. Excel's my new weapon, but it's taking its toll. SEO's no joke, keywords in the game. Alt text, A+ content, playing insane. Lifestyle shots, avatars for fame, but the CTR's low. All products look the same. Amazon's a beast, it's a fight, no peace. From SEO to PPC, from SEO to PPC, the hustle don't cease. Think it's passive? Nah, you better increase your tolerance for chaos or face defeat.
Let's go to Mac School. To Mac School. Class is now in session with Professor Pope.
They got the SOP, cause Professor Pope wrote the recipe. Helping Amazon sellers grow sales exponentially. Amazon's a jungle, but we map the strategy. Brand strategist playbook, it's a guide to victory. Troubleshooting catalog, you know we got the answer key. Boosting all your rankings, turning sales into a legacy. SOB so deep, you think we studied at Mac School. Every step we follow leads to growth, yeah, it's a golden rule. Stuck on keywords, we'll find the ones that work the best. Using Helium 10, strike distance keywords pass the test. Incremental indexing ensures the listing set to rise. From the backend to the bullets, optimization hits the skies. Brand store creation, yeah, we make it shine and flow. A+ content design makes conversions overflow. Need your images on point, best practices in the plan. Alt text and photo rules ensure your visuals command. SEO meets PPC, it's balanced, every step aligned. We'll construct the MKLs that drive rankings over time. Budget caps and bid adjustments, no more wasted spending. Segmentation builds campaigns that sellers can defend. Got a hijacker, no problem, we'll file to take them down. Review requests in action, 5-star ratings come around. Flat file updates, market share reports, it's all in reach. Professor Pope wrote the SOP so sellers learn and teach. Meanwhile, my Amazon guys on the case, fixing up my problems at lightning pace. Ticket escalations, Mag's the boss. Even Amazon says we'll take the loss. Seller support don't know what's up. Passing the buck when the issue gets tough. They're the official team, but they can't comply. So they say, reach out to my Amazon guy. They're supposed to be the pros, but they can't decode policies and tools from their own damn road. I'm paying fees, yet they bring me stress. But Mag turns my chaos into pure success. Seller support reps, they throwing shade, but then admit, yo, Mag will get you paid. Third-party agency taking the throne while Amazon fumbles in their own damn zone. Seller support don't know what's up. Passing the buck when the issue gets tough. They're the official team, but they can't comply. So they say, reach out to my Amazon guy. So here's the truth, let's keep it real. Mag's the team with the pro-level skill. Amazon sellers, you know the vibe when support says call Mag. They'll give you peace of mind. Amazon seller support, you can suck my image stack. Sucking is all you're good at anyway. Bezos, hit me up if you want to sell seller support. I'm buying. There's a chase. Peace.
Hello and welcome to the My Amazon Guy Friday Live Q&A. My name is Noah Wickham. I'm VP of Sales and Marketing here at My Amazon Guy, and we are here to answer any and all of your questions. So if you have questions, throw them in the chat now. We will get to them in the order that they come in. So we have some people who come early every single week, and they love to throw some questions in really early so that they can come back and watch, or maybe you're currently in the audience now. I don't know. But that being said, if you do have a question, throw it in the chat now. We'll get to it as we get to it. We'll be live for, I don't know, let's say hour and a half here. And we, as long as there's questions, I'll keep talking. So I'm actually going to close my blind here a little bit because it's kind of blinding me. But there we go. All right. Let's pop on off here. Mohammed. Hello, top of search or rest of search for generic product? Amazon shows it in top 10 bestsellers as well. I mean, I would do both, right? So you have two different campaign options there. Why not just do both types of campaign at the end of the day? It's not a matter of placement, right? So if you're already showing top of search as far as like top 10 bestsellers, that's awesome. Generic products don't get that very often. I would definitely brand register your product if you can. Second, close match is okay, I think. It is auto campaign. I am new, so no idea. Amazon is showing some red label timing as well. Ends in 60. Okay, so the red label timing is a specific deal that you're essentially a promo deal that you're doing that is only a certain amount of time. Now, that to me says that you're not the only seller on this product at the end of the day. So the seller with that deal is typically going to be the one who actually gets the sale from those deals. But all that being said, yeah, I mean, close match is always going to be good. I typically am still going to have a loose match complementary as well. So I'm going to throw those in for your auto campaign. For U.S. Marketplace, what state LLC should I apply for no tax? How much time LLC takes? Thanks for all three answers and keep winning. I shall keep winning. Yeah, so for no tax, I am not legal advice. I am also not an accountant in the slates. I believe Delaware, Wyoming are two places. I don't think there's not one that you're not going to pay tax in, right? So you're going to pay tax everywhere. State income tax, I think, is different but I'm not positive about business tax. So I would just talk to an accountant. I'm not sure, to be honest. Hello, Noah. This is my product. Okay, the CTR is around 1%, but the conversion rate is very low, below 5%. Could you please review the product and suggest what improvements I can make? Maybe. I will get back to this, Sahil. I don't like to start these with any ASIN reviews because the second I start doing an ASIN review, that's all this turns into is an ASIN review stream. I mean, if people want it, I'm happy to, but that's what it turns into is an ASIN review stream. So I want to try and stay away from that until I answer as many questions as I possibly can. So I will come back if there are no more questions. Noah. Are backend keywords flagged by Amazon for making medical and disease claims, or is this treated differently since it's not seen by customers? Technically, still is something that you can have. I've seen people who are just indexed and ranking for certain keywords that they don't even have. That yes, absolutely, they can still get flagged for it. So I would not make the claim even in your backend keywords. Now you can have certain keywords. The best way to do this is usually advertising because you then technically aren't having it on your actual product, but yeah, it would still technically be a claim, even if it's not directly in your copy. So I usually stay away from any of those types of claims, even for our backend keywords. Hey, Noah, good to see you again. Thank you. Good to see you as well. I have so many questions as usual. If I run two campaigns that are exactly the same, do I get more impressions? What if one campaign has higher bid? Yeah, so no. So it's this weird thing with Amazon's algorithm and with how advertising works on Amazon in general that I think a lot of people, sorry, there's a weird siren that's like going off outside, that people don't tend to realize, understand, know. And so the primary thing to think about with this is that if you have two of the exact same campaign, right, you're essentially splitting those two campaigns. You're competing against yourself in a way, sort of. Amazon will tend to choose one campaign. They will tend to choose one campaign as the primary campaign, and then another campaign as the non-primary campaign. And so that's one of those things where essentially when you are creating those campaigns, you're going to find that one of the two of them just is going to do better than the other one. And it's because Amazon chooses that one first, so that one tends to do better. Now, if one has higher bid, yeah, you're essentially just going to be likely showing that one more often because it has higher bid, so you have more chances to bid against other people higher than other people. So you have to remember it's not just you who's going for the impressions. It's not just those two campaigns going for the impressions. There are hundreds, if not thousands, of other products, people who are also bidding against those keywords, going after those campaigns specifically. Noah, any discount code for the Amazon conference? Accelerate. Unfortunately, I don't believe I have any discount codes left. I can do a double check on that. And if I do have one, I will shoot me a DM on LinkedIn. And if I have one left, I'll shoot it on over to you. But I don't believe I have any more discount or promo codes. I only had a couple to give out this year, unfortunately. Any update of SPP? And you are my favorite. I already comment on LinkedIn. I do know you, Abdullah. No SPP updates. It came and went with the date that they initially said. We did get one update recently, I think, where it sounds like they might be pushing it off to like even January. But all of our accounts still work. Nothing has been taken off accounts. Our SPP campaign manager is still messed up, so I think maybe that's what they're waiting for, is to get campaign manager fixed, but I guess we'll have to wait and see on that. Another question. My product is not converting well for the main keywords, watch case and watch box, but these are the highest search terms. My best keyword is watch display case. Do I negative match the main keyword? That seems like a bad idea since they are the highest search, but they also drain my PPC budget. What do I do in this case? So you have a high relevancy, quote unquote, keyword, right, that matches your product, but you're not converting on it. Why aren't you converting on it is the thing that you need to find out first and foremost. Are you not converting due to pricing compared to competitors? Are you doing any self-targeting campaigns or in other essence, brand protection campaigns on your products, right? Is your product highly priced compared to people in your same niche who are also going after? I know a brand right now that I've worked with, and they sell watch cases. It's a very competitive market, right? And that's a very harsh keyword, but it's also one that I would not necessarily get rid of. I'd focus on your product detail page first and foremost. Take a look at your pricing, see how you compare. If you truly can't get your conversion rate up on these keywords, then yeah, negate them. So my age-old saying is that a keyword is only as relevant as the sales that it produces. Okay, so it's a big thing to keep in mind. With any keyword in your PPC, a keyword is only as relevant as the sales it produces. And that means that essentially if a keyword is not producing sales for you, regardless of its relevancy to your product, then it is not a good keyword and you should negate it. Now, I wouldn't necessarily negate. You don't always have to negate keywords just because they're not performing well. You can always just not target that keyword, make sure that you don't hit from a broad perspective, so on and so forth. A product has 2 UPCs and is getting a FBA shipping error message because one is a shared UPC with another ASIN. Can the shared UPC be permanently removed from the product? Amazon support says no. So shared UPC, let's talk about it. If you have a shared UPC, first question, is the shared UPC your UPC or not? Secondarily, if it is, how do you have 2 products with the same UPC? Your best solution, if it is your product, get a new UPC for your product for one of the 2. This is just a standard. You should absolutely be getting a new UPC. Go through GS1, buy it, get transfer the UPC into a new ASIN, make your life a million times easier. Now, option number 2 somebody else has used the UPC, in which case I would ask, are you utilizing GS1 for your UPCs? If you're not, then yeah, you're always going to run into this problem. People sell bulk UPCs for $100 for 10,000, right? And you buy 10,000 UPCs, use them. Guess what? They have resold that 10,000 list to 100,000 other people. Now, for that aspect, again, same exact scenario. Do a UPC, get your GS1 UPC, update your ASIN with a new UPC, and do a UPC transfer, as well as an ASIN merge. That's realistically your only solution here, unfortunately. Shared UPCs it won't work on Amazon, especially if you're trying to ship in via manufacturer barcode. So that's just a major issue you're always going to have. What's a better strategy when trying to increase sales? Actually, real quick, I'm guessing with shared UPC, you're talking about two products that one is like pack size. Yeah, you honestly, for pack size products, just go FN SKU barcode. Makes your life easy. What's a better strategy when trying to increase sales? Using coupons or strike-through discounts? So strike-through discounts, I like for the aspect that they kind of play twofold. They're really nice and pretty from a click-through rate standpoint because it shows that strike-through, but they also obviously help with the conversion because your price is lower. Now, coupon codes, on the other hand, do have some necessary benefits to them, such as being able to target specific audiences with certain coupons. You're able to set up coupons for multi-pack deals, things like that. So they have different use cases. Now, if your only goal here at the end of the day is to increase sales, just go with a strike-through because it's easiest and price is the #1 converting factor at the end of the day. How do you sell your brand on Amazon? What if you wanted to keep your account but sell your brand? Yeah, so there's two different things. So if you're wanting to keep your account and sell the brand, you can do that, right? The way that you would go about doing this is that you would have to essentially only do a brand transfer, in which case you would essentially sell it and then you would do a transfer from the brand having ownership of one email over to a new email. And that new email just has to have its own seller central. So that's absolutely something you can do. Now, if you want to sell the account as a whole, you can as well. It's usually best to do a full business sale, quote unquote, where they take over the LLC, everything in between, makes it very clean, very simple. If they don't want to do that, then yeah, I have a couple of videos on our YouTube channel going over account transfers, how to get your account transferred. I would look into those. I posted one literally this year talking about selling your business on Amazon. Go give those a watch. I get pretty in depth on them. But if there's anything that isn't covered in those videos, leave a comment on the video for us and let us know any questions, and I can do an update video as well for it. I read like 99% of all the comments as well that are left on our videos. Do you find the videos created with Amazon Ads AI Video Builder effective for PPC video ads on Amazon, or should one avoid them altogether and wait until one has more professionally crafted videos? I am of the mentality that AI gets us 60% of the way right now. 60% of the way there if you're starting at zero, right? So if you're starting at zero, you have no ability to create a video, do anything. AI gets you 60% of the way to a what I would consider finished product. They're not great by any means, but they're also better than having nothing at all, is kind of the way that I look at it. So would I take an AI video over not having a video at all? Probably. Now, that said, the big thing to consider here is make sure that the video is actually semi-decent. It can suck really badly depending on the product. Some products it does really well with. Supplements it does fantastic with. Just consumables in general it does okay-ish with, I guess. But yeah, I think an AI video is better than no video. But at the end of the day, you can get a video made for your product fairly cheaply in this day and age. And so I honestly would try and do that. If you're really interested, come on over to our website, myamazonguy.com. Under our services section, we have videos. I think it's $200 for a video. So feel free to head on over to our website, talk to one of our team members. More than happy to do that. It's fairly inexpensive and we do great work. So if you want like UGC type content, we can do that as well. Another question. I have a campaign of exact match keywords, 5 keywords. These keywords rarely get impressions or convert. Keyword related to group gets sales, but at high ACoS. Do I turn this campaign off? Yeah, I mean, if you've done a lot of testing, you're not getting impressions first and foremost. I think I remember you talking about this. Yeah, if you're not getting impressions, there's a couple of reasons typically for that. I would also look at the search volume specifically for those keywords, see if it actually has, if they have search volume on them. If not, then yeah, you're not going to get any impressions on them. But if they're just unconverting, unsearchable keywords, yeah, I would just turn it off. Don't target them at the end of the day. The keyword related to group, yeah, I mean, that can actually usually be working fairly well. I mean, that's essentially what phrase is and complementary is. So I'm assuming in some capacity, you're probably doing, what is it? You're probably doing some kind of auto campaigns as well that maybe has some search terms in there that are complementary search terms, which would be good. Check that out. And I'm guessing that will help you as far as finding new keywords for some new exact campaigns. But you can also throw these keywords into broad campaign, these 5 keywords into broad, and you'll probably get a lot more bang for your buck. How many brands does Steve have? I don't think he has a single brand right now, actually. So he's brandless, as they say. The top 10 ASINs in my niche have so many page visits. I don't understand how to increase mine. I never run out of daily budget. I have competitive bids, and I do get sales. How do I increase impressions? All right. So essentially, you're saying that your top 10 competitors, they get a ton of page visits. First off, it's because they're paid or they're top 10, right? So they are organically going to get a lot of that. You don't know how to increase yours. You never run out of budget. You have competitive bids. You get sales. Why aren't you getting? How do you increase your impressions? Well, a couple of things. First and foremost, you can do. Firstly, ensure that you're actually sponsored rank 1, which is going to cost you, and you're going to have to do some top of search placement. But if your sole goal is just impressions, which it shouldn't be, your sole goal should be sales. But if it's just impressions, right? Top of search, increase your bid overall. That will get you to the top page. That will get you a ton of impressions. Now, secondarily, you need new keywords, right? You need more campaigns. If you're not running on a daily budget, you need to increase the number of campaigns, increase your number of targets in general. Easiest way to do that is to look and see what those top 10 competitors are actually sponsored and placing against. What are those guys actually getting from, or what are they targeting from a sponsored perspective? So throw those into something like Cerebro. Take a look at what all of their keywords that they are ranking really well on, as well as which ones they are currently sponsored on. That should give you a good indication as to what you should also be sponsored on, as well as what you should be trying to increase your organic ranking on. Are KYC suspensions pretty easy to solve as long as you have all the documents compared to others such as infringement? For your clients, how many were you able to get their account back from such a problem such as KYC as wrong document? Well, the first thing here, Minecraft, is that I have to figure out what KYC is. Know your customer. Okay, fantastic. This way I now keep our acronym sheet on the side here because it just helps me remember acronyms. Anyway, so KYC, so know your customer. No. So to answer your question very bluntly, no, they're not as easy to solve, like pretty easy to solve. I think realistically they are probably about as hard as infringement in some capacities. Know your customer, anything related to reviews, anything related to know your customer, anything related to feedback are always going to be difficult to solve, even if you have documentation, just because Amazon wants to be a pain in the ass with it, to be, frank. So realistically, is it easy? No. Is it something that you can overcome? Yeah. So as long as you have all of the documentation, you shouldn't have too big of an issue, I should say. So. All right, gotta get some water in me. You guys like my little Halloween guy back here, my little Frankenstein? He's chilling. we are in the fall season. I'm going to have to figure out how, with my new camera angle this year, how I'm going to decorate my space, so to speak. We'll figure that out, I suppose. What are the top best ways to build a brand on Amazon to better compete with low-cost products? Well, I could do an entire masterclass on that. And in fact, I'm in the process of recording a masterclass on that. But we also have tons of videos, tons of content online, Francisco. I would check out our YouTube channel, watch all of our YouTube videos, go take our mag school courses. There's a lot of different ways we can cover this. I have a masterclass I'm going to be pumping out sometime here next couple of weeks. Goes over everything. I would watch that. You go away. No publicly trying to market yourself on my live stream. How dare you, Kareem? Let's see. Who's next? Isaac. Overall, it seems my sales are a direct function of ad spend / impressions. I don't know how to increase that even more without spamming campaigns. I have 11 at the moment. Direct function of ad spend. Okay, so what I would probably first and foremost do here is that tells me you're probably not ranking super well organically. So my first question would be, how often are you updating your SEO to try and increase your overall ranking across the board? So I'm saying so too much today, but the idea essentially is that you need to be consistently swapping out keywords, checking through and seeing if you have any keywords that are ranked between 20 and 50. These are going to be like your strike zone keywords that you want to try and increase your ranking, get them into 1 to 19, continuously funnel more keywords in through your back-end SEO and get rid of anything from a pink keyword perspective on your front-end copy as well. So if you're having an issue with the just ad spend impressions being the primary driver of everything you're doing from sales, then you need to increase your organic. The only way to increase your organic is through increasing your overall SEO and sales volume. Look at advertising not as a revenue driver and rather as like adding fuel, jet fuel to a car, right? And the car is the SEO optimizations that you are making to rank organically. Thomas, how to make sure my brand registrations are connected correctly to seller account in backend, not able to list A+ content on ACoS. Recently switched brand I don't know why I can't read jurisdiction for some reason. I just had a dyslexia moment. Recently switched brand jurisdiction and storefront from Vendor Central to Seller Central. Okay, so the way that you essentially make sure that your ASINs are connected correctly to your seller on the back end is by making sure that you are having your brand and your brand registry connected to your Seller Central account. Your Vendor Central account and your Seller Central account should have been created under the same email, under the same user account. If they are not, then you are going to have an issue because you're going to have to do a brand transfer from your current brand registry account into your Seller Central email account. Now, secondarily to this, you not being able to list A+ content on ASINs, yes, that could be an issue of brand registry. It could also be an issue of if you just decided one day to take your ASINs from Vendor Central and list them on Seller Central without consulting a Vendor Central rep, without asking Amazon, you don't own primary contribution rights on those products. So you do not have the ability to update those products. You have to, when you switch from Vendor Central to Seller Central, get permission from Amazon to ungate your products for Seller Central. It's an annoying process because Amazon, of course, doesn't want you all the time to sell your own products. They very much would rather, especially if they're making money off of you, stay on Vendor Central. So it is one of those few issues. Now, if you need help transferring from Vendor Central to Seller Central correctly, and you did not get permission the first time, reach out to us, book a call with one of my team members, myamazonguy.com/book. Write your problem down when you're booking the call. We deal with this all the time. We have a couple of different internal contacts for Vendor Central that work as liaisons for our company when you're doing any form of Vendor Central to Seller Central transition. So deal with it all the time. It's an annoying process, but it's one of those two solutions essentially that I mentioned there. What should be included in the A+ content? Further information about your product, selling features of your product, differentiation between other products, about the brand, lifestyle imagery, a couple of different things. Oh, it's Jeff. Look at that. Jeff is here. Hi, Noah. Hi, Jeff. I know you have seen this. Amazon is restricting my IP and I can't use H10 Analyze Review. Even if I am in my personal account, I get Amazon is temporarily limiting this account's access. Hold on. Where? Oh, okay. So I guess that was it. There's not part 2 of this ship. Yeah. Yeah, you can. Amazon is going to limit the account access if they're restricting your IP. It's a dumb thing, especially with the brand. Yeah, you can't use H10. You can't use any tools. You can, however, still technically review from a standard of actually looking at your keyword. So you can still actually see your keywords on those products. You just can't actually see any of the brand analytics around them if they're restricting it. So that's the unfortunate part. If you're fully suppressed, though, then yeah, you're not going to be able to use H10. You're not going to be able to use Smart Scout. You can't use Data for anything, unfortunately, Jeff. All right, let's speed run some of this because I am like 25 minutes behind these questions. This question was sent in at 12:01. Running ads and staying profit is very challenging. How to do this? You need to understand what your minimum profit margin is and then only use that as like your metric moving forward. Tacos is much more consistent for you than ACoS will ever be. Profitability is always going to be a problem at the end of the day. Keep your books real clean. My account sell is suddenly dropped massively and no violation issue. Nothing changed in listing campaign. Take your ASIN and put it into the Amazon search bar and check to see if you are having a hidden suppression of your ASIN at some point. That's 9 times out of 10. The issue is some kind of hidden suppression issue where you're not showing up anymore. Wait, you do ASIN reviews. What do I need to do for this wisdom? Not right now. We're not doing an ASIN review right now. Maybe later. I'll do an ASIN review live stream sometime here in the future, I suppose. If ranking campaigns and a supplement niche aren't working, for example, sponsored product exact isn't delivering, but sponsored brand video is performing really well, what would you do in this situation? Would you keep relying on sponsored brand video, or how do you approach sponsored products to make them work? As we know, sponsored brand video is not long-term game. Yeah. So sponsored brand video is great if you're trying to grow your overall search volume, your overall brand awareness. And yeah, it is actually more so a long-term game, in my opinion, for a sponsored brand video, but that doesn't help you with some instant conversions, right? So your sponsored product exact probably isn't delivering because you're in a supplement niche, and supplement niches are extremely competitive, extremely expensive, and you have to be looking at trying to take market share, even at a very high cost point. So it's one of those things where I really just wouldn't rely on sponsored exact right now. I would do instead a broad campaign, check to see if you have any ability to grow from that. And I'm guessing you likely will, especially knowing the supplement niche. Now, broad depends on what kind of supplement you have as well. Sometimes it's better to do a phrase versus a broad, just because you need to get a little bit closer to that exact. But realistically, if you're not having success with the exact, that's your next step in solution. Cash-rich brands come with heavy ads and they push me down of ranking. How to handle such a situation? Gotta grow your organic. That's pretty much your solution here. At the end of the day, yeah, it's why Chinese sellers suck, because they can make 1 cent while you need to make $5 to have the same profit margin. I already answered this one. Viper, happy Friday. Happy Friday. If ranking campaigns in a supplement niche aren't working, for example, did I not just answer this? Yeah, I just answered this. Wyoming is a good place. Oh, he's probably talking about the LLC. Yeah, I think Wyoming's one of the ones that a lot of people recommend. My click-through rate is 0.49%. Ooh, low. Ever since they removed the graphic from my image, CTR has dropped. Even just brightening my LED on the product won't go through. This is a mag main image. What can I do? Got to continuously test. So this is something I'm seeing more and more, Viper. I actually just got a message yesterday of somebody needing some help because they are now retroactively starting to take down main image hacks, which is not great in my opinion. The real thing at the end of the day is that we need to test something new. So I would definitely advise that we try a new form of main image hack that may not be as performative as the older ones, but there's a lot of different ways to do main image hacks. So, realistically, shoot a message or anything over. Happy to, have it reviewed. We can run some pick foos as well right off the bat, and then we can run everything through an A/B test to see what kind of performance we can get out of the new main image. How many campaigns should you launch when starting a new product? Really depends on the product category, things like that. My general recommendation is always start with an auto campaign, a broad campaign, and an exact campaign. I wouldn't do anything sponsored brand or sponsored display right off the bat. Roughly 90% of all of your spend should be on sponsored products. How do you qualify for FBM expedited shipping? I think you're talking about seller fulfilled prime. And with expedited shipping, can you charge different shipping charges for different parts of the country? Can MAG help with the settings? Yeah, so I think you're talking about seller fulfilled prime. Expedited shipping, you can automatically do just via shipping template. So you don't have to qualify for it. You just have to use one of the shipping template options for expedited shipping. But if you want seller fulfilled prime, can you charge for that? No, you cannot. Seller fulfilled prime has to act just like regular prime. It is for prime members. How do you qualify for it? You have to have exceptionally good fulfillment rates across the board for everywhere that you're at. And usually those have to be free as well. So it's one of those that I don't really recommend it. Now, if you're using a 3PL, there are a lot of 3PLs out there that are pretty reliable with seller fulfilled prime. And those ones usually can get you turned on if you are submitting cases saying, hey, we're working with so-and-so. I know you're not a fan of Prime Days, but they do help my products. I need to relaunch 2 hero products that went out of stock. I know rule 1, 2. It wasn't my fault. Should I use Prime big deals to help boost rankings and eat the fee? Yeah, I would, especially coming October. If you're trying to do a relaunch and you're trying to get some quick momentum going into Q4, absolutely. I think, October Prime Days are definitely going to be something that will help you with that. So if that's kind of your goal with it, I think that's a perfectly fine goal. So I mainly just don't like Prime Days for people that act as if they are this huge thing. But yeah, this is a great reason to utilize the extra traffic, utilize, some different situations such as the Prime big deals. I think that's good. So yeah, I would definitely do that, Viper. Launching a skincare product. Should I create a listing now to make sure I can even sell it before I do all this work on branding so I know I can sell it? And I need to purchase a barcode for that. Well, you have to purchase a barcode for it regardless. And I need to, you need to purchase barcodes. So you're going to have a UPC. Should you create the listing now? I mean, you can, right? But reality is you're going to be able to sell it. It just is going to come down to what certifications you're going to need. And Amazon sometimes doesn't like brand new sellers in certain categories, but usually you can still get access to those categories if you're a brand registered product. So I'd start probably with the trademark brand registry. I would also get the barcode, and then I would look at the listing as kind of the next step within that lineage of things. Regarding me not converting on main keyword, my price is 2 to 3 times higher than the cheapest products. However, in the niche, I'm mid-range price around $60. Some products are $70 to $130. I'm upgrading my listing. Start with the listing upgrade, like I said, Eisen. The other aspect of this, right, that you need to think about, if you're mid-range, make sure you're going after keywords that other mid-range sellers within your niche are. Make sure that you are presenting yourself in the same way that more like the higher end people are presenting themselves, right? Those are your competition, not the super low cost people. Let's see. If I have 5 different types of supplements, should I create them in variation listings so that more number of reviews could show in the listing? Is it a good idea? Yeah, I mean, you can. I mean, that's just simple parentage stuff. Now, if they're Vine reviews, it won't matter. So Vine reviews no longer merge in parentages, but just regular variation reviews, yeah, always. You can still merge those. I think that's always a great idea. Okay. Let's keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving. Oh. All right. So I've been doing Amazon for 3 years. I mostly work on reselling model. Also, I have artificial intelligence. I faced a few issues in wholesale, and that's why I want to switch to Amazon private label. What would you suggest me where from start I start this? Also, as I mentioned, I have a great experience in Amazon, and I'm losing track here. I have a great experience in Amazon, and that will help me a lot. Should I start with PPC or do full Amazon private label? I am a service provider and a top-rated seller in Upwork. Cool. I don't know what those last two have anything to do with it. Start your Amazon private label. The best advice I give to literally anyone, and I do several coaching sessions a week actually with different people, consulting sessions, things like that over a couple of years. And the best advice I can possibly give to anyone at the end of the day who is looking to get started is just get started. The thing that stops you from getting started is exactly that, just not getting started. So if you are looking to start on Amazon, especially with private label, find something that you are passionate about, something you like, something you know really well. You know the market, you know the niche. It's something you use all the time. Try that first and foremost, right? And that usually leads you down a better place, I suppose. So hopefully that helps. Jeff, I saw why Steven is no longer a fan of H10. Why is Jungle Scout and Smart Scout better? I use Zonguru and Data Dive already. I like Data Dive personally. So Data Dive's great in my opinion. Jeff, you're right on the money with what I like to use, right? Data Dive's great. My second a brand perspective, so like a brand management perspective, would probably be Jungle Scout. So Jungle Scout is really, really good from like a brand management perspective. Very similar, obviously, to like H10. Very similar to Data Dive. I just like Jungle Scout, has good UI. Smart Scout, though, is better, in my opinion, for like macro level intelligence of competitors, of the market, of everything. So I think each of them have like their own, H10, Jungle Scout, Smart Scout, Zonguru, Data. They all have one area that they excel in compared to anyone else, right? And so it just depends what your use case is, right? And I don't like to be that guy that's like, well, you need to have 5 different tools. You don't at the end of the day. You only realistically need to use 1 or 2 at any given time. But that being said, if you're looking at what new tools to use, I think you're right on the money with Data Dive. Zonguru, I've only had limited experience with, haven't used it, but I have heard good things, I should say. How do you measure incremental sales lift when running sponsored products and DSP together without double counting? Well, because attribution at the end of the day. Now, DSP attribution, of course, can, especially if you're going off last click, which a lot of times Amazon does go off of last click or multi-click for attribution. So it's up in the air. That being said, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to say that your sponsored product is not going to double up on there from an attribution standpoint. Now, technically it can, and DSP will show that, but it will also show where the funnel is, and that's what matters more to you from an advertising perspective, is the funnel approach that they actually took. Do you have a video on how to improve my SEO, backend, and also listing? Probably 1,000 of them, I'd I would just go to our YouTube channel. We have an entire playlist dedicated to Amazon SEO. It's like 50 plus videos in it. We also have course mag-school.com, and you can check out our SEO course. Gotta get those sweet organic sales. I've gotten a few in the first month, but my PPC strategy was terrible on launch. Learning process, I guess. Yes, it's always a learning process. Let's see. Ooh. Yawning over here. I am working on Amazon from the last 3 years in a reselling model like wholesale and an online arbitrage model. Made good money, but Amazon shuts down a store due to an IP complaint. Yeah, that will happen when you are doing reselling and OA because 9 times out of 10, you don't have brand authorization to sell the product. Is the problem that comes with reselling and OA. Unfortunately, you don't have a lot of recourse nor retribution unless you're buying from a verified supplier, wholesaler of the brand. And even then, it's iffy, unfortunately. Have any brands you worked with been successful in driving traffic from social media to Amazon listing page to drive sales? Yeah, absolutely. We actually have an entire service for meta advertising. We have quite a few Amazon brands that take advantage of it. We have a lot of direct to consumer. That's the thing though. 9 times out of 10, our brands want us to do that kind of advertising on things like Meta or TikTok for direct consumer website, right? Because you just normally have a higher profitability there. So you don't have to deal with Amazon. But we do have some that don't want direct to consumer. They just want Amazon. We do it for them. And yeah, we get decently good results at the end of the day when we are seeing that. So, oh, gotta stay hydrated over here. Throat's closing up from all this talking. Product cost with everything is $79. Cents. Doubloons. Got one sale after ad spend of 95. Yeah, that'll happen. Question is how to set product campaign. I mean, how you will set it. I mean, it depends, right? So I would have to look at your keywords and understand like how much you're paying from a cost per click standpoint. Start immediately though with understanding like where your number one converting area is. So like, what does your product detail page look like? Are your product images updated for conversion? Language. Pictures are for people. If your product images don't sell your product themselves, then how can you expect to ever have your ads actually perform? Let's go here. Vanity events. Does anyone know what the live login for next Friday's call is? The live login. What do you mean? Are you talking about like the link for this for like the live call next week? We don't post it, I think, until Fridays, but just come to the YouTube channel next week. It's the same time every single week, Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern. I'll be here. Probably. Actually, okay, yeah, I'll be here next Friday. So is what it is. Let's see. I was just told that my voice volume is very low and I'm away from my mic. So let me put my mic over here so that you guys can actually hear me, I guess. Let's see here. Where was I? But it's why you get people on the back end. Reduction. At what stage in your business do you consider it essential to have insurance to protect yourself from potential issues with your product? And is there a specific type of insurance you would recommend? Yeah. So on Amazon specifically, and I think it's a good metric, once you pass $10,000 a month in sales, they require you to have business insurance. I am not an insurance broker, nor am I going to claim to be an expert on this, but a couple of different ones that I've used in the past. Next Insurance has always been my favorite. It's cheap. It's reliable. I've never had to actually use it for any type of reason. Now, again, I'm not a business insurance guru or anything like that. I'm not going to try and sell you insurance. That said, once you pass $10,000 a month in sales, that's when you're required to have it on Amazon. You can always have it before then, though. I don't know anyone really that has had to really use their insurance on Amazon. It used to be a problem. I think it used to be a much bigger thing when Amazon wasn't as reputable, where people could be sued. But nowadays, like Amazon gets brought into lawsuits and stuff, and so it's a whole thing. So how can I improve order considering my A+ and listing images are already great, but the problem is my product is high value in comparison with competitor. My product provides better value. How are you showing that value? So that's the biggest thing at the end of the day. Whenever you have any kind of product on Amazon, right, and you are trying to say, here are my differentiating features. First and foremost, don't put those differentiating features below the fold. And what I mean by below the fold, I mean your brand story, A+ content. You should have your differentiating features, why your product is better than anyone else's, right in the product images to start, and then also add them into your A+ content. So everything above the fold should be enough to sell the customer. Below the fold, cherry or icing on top of the cake is essentially how you should look at it. When tacos is stable, but ACoS is climbing, what's your process to identify whether PPC is driving incremental growth or just cannibalizing organic sales? Well, if your tacos is stable, so let's say that my tacos is 10%, okay? I have 10% tacos, but my sales are growing and I am increasing my ad spend by 10x, and so my ACoS is going up. Well, guess what? As long as your tacos stay stable, your sales are growing, it does not matter how much you spend on advertising, is the way to look at it. And it is growing your organic sales. So people forget very often, especially because Amazon makes it so apparent that like ad dollars in, ad sales out, right? Or paid sales out. It's one of those things where people forget very frequently that advertising is not just a tool to drive direct like sales. Advertising is also a tool to drive growth of your brand, growth of your products from an organic sense, word of mouth, people searching your products, so on and so forth, right? If your taco stays consistent and your sales in general are increasing, that just means that your advertising is growing your organic side of the business in simple terms, so to speak. So I always use tacos as my primary metric. If I'm at 10% tacos, I don't care if I spend $10,000 on ads or $100,000 on ads. The reason being is that 10% tells me how much I'm actually making in total sales, right? So $10,000 at 10%, I'm making $100K. At $100,000 at 10%, I'm making $1 million. And if I'm staying at 10%, my profitability should not be changing either. What's your framework for aligning DSP audience insights with sponsored product search term data? So I'm not going to sit here and act like I think that's probably not the best way to put it. So typically speaking, I don't like to actually align it with my sponsored product search terms, right? Because DSP operates very differently than sponsored products. DSP is not, sponsored products is a conversion funnel, right? You are going against specifically a search term, trying to convert people against that search term. Now, yes, they have introduced audience targeting into our sponsored products. I think it's great. I love audience targeting on sponsored products. I encourage everyone to use it. Now, DSP audiences is very different. You are not targeting direct on Amazon. You are not targeting a direct conversion. 9 times out of 10, the only time in which you're targeting direct conversion is retargeting campaigns, which should equal about 50% of your DSP audience insights. So as far as like a framework for the two of them, I don't, because they are different advertising tools. It would be the equivalent of saying, I'm going to try and use my search term data on Amazon to then create an audience group on Meta advertising, right? Which you wouldn't do because they're two different things and they're two different advertising channels, and they are so different in how they target different consumer bases. A great example, DSP audience insights, it's like, it gives you a little bit more on the idea of being able to understand your audience segmentation and how they might be searching, which you can then parlay into new keyword research for your sponsored product keywords. But again, it's very incremental at the end of the day. How can I improve orders considering my A+ and listing images are already great, but the problem is my product is high value in comparison with competitor. My product provides better value. Okay, so I pretty much just answered this question. It's differentiation, above the fold differentiation, right? So if you have a product that is better, but it's far more expensive, you don't want to compete and you don't want to advertise against products that are just super inexpensive compared to you, right? Because you are not going to convert somebody if you are 3-4 times the price of some other product. If your products do the exact same thing, nor is your customer base going to be the exact same. Differentiation, above the fold product images first and foremost. Secondarily, try and figure out the actual high converting keywords. Don't just go off of keywords that they are also targeting. What is your suggestion to work in one platform or in different platforms like Amazon, Walmart, TikTok Shop, or Temu? As service provider, company owner, I mean, we do multiple platforms, but we didn't launch multiple platforms till years in. Focus and hone in on one specific thing and do it exceptionally well, and then branch out from there. It's the age-old saying of, dig a 1-inch wide hole and then dig it a mile deep. My ASIN review is pending from less than 1 hour. I like said, Sahil, I will get to ASIN reviews only if there are no more questions and we still have time left, which we are getting close to. We do have a couple of questions, but what's the success rate of Amazon private label now? Okay, so I think it's still the same as any small business ever, right? So majority of small businesses don't make it a year, even less make it. It's like 50% fail in their first year, 80% fail in the first 3 years, and then like 90% fail in the first 5. Now, take that with a grain of salt. What is considered failing? Now, scaling versus failing, I think, are two very different things. But at the end of the day, the big aspect here is that I think you can be successful on Amazon still is more so the question I think you're asking. Do I think that it's easy by any means? No, it's not. In fact, quite the opposite. I think that it's harder than ever to be successful on Amazon, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't not try, right? So I always am going to go in with the, I guess, benefit of the doubt, right? That it's going to fail. Simply, if you do your correct research, you're in a competitive niche, you have a good product, you have good pricing, you have the knowledge to scale, you can be successful in it. Success is really defined by what you define it as, right? Is success selling a couple of units a month? Is success getting to $10,000 in sales a month? Say $100,000, right? So define that first and then ask that question. Thanks for your help, Noah. I'm going to get that SEO course to update my listing. Also, I will look at keyword for similar price products and update campaigns. Really helpful advice. Have a great weekend. Yeah, you as well. Thank you. What should be min and max top of search? Second, what profit should we keep in start? Well, your top of search min and max is going to be, wow, there's a lot of wind outside right now. Your top of search min max is going to be dependent entirely on what your bid is, right? And what your average cost per click is. I could tell you that, I mean, technically speaking, it can be 999%, right? And if your bid is 1 cent, but your cost per click on average is $11, you're not even hitting your cost per click, right? So there's not like a min and max there for top search. What profit should we keep in start? So you're at your like minimum profit margin for most, like gross profit margin, I should say, should be 60%. Gross profit margin for most Amazon brands nowadays has to be around 60% minimum just to like be near break even, just because of fees, just because of advertising, so on and so forth. So that's going to be my first thing. Now, secondarily to that, to start, how much should you keep? Teach their own. It depends. I like reinvesting pretty much everything. So I don't start. If I were to start a brand right now today, I would probably not take a single profit for the first year. I would just reinvest everything into scale and growth. But I also have the luxury of having a job where I can do that. Our budget allocation is 62 for 34. That's crazy, which is bad according to the latest mag video. However, sponsor brand shows extremely strong KPIs in our account, same as sponsor product. So if the numbers are good, is there any reason to push a different budget allocation? No. So the numbers that we published, for those that are unaware, is that on average, across all of our brands, it's about 89% of budget, it goes towards sponsored products, 9% goes towards sponsored brands, and 2% goes towards sponsored display. Now, Martin, to answer your question, does that mean we don't have a single account that is doing less than that or doing different? No, quite the opposite, actually. I looked through a lot of the data, and exactly similar to you, we actually have some accounts where we have as low as like 5% sponsored product, and we have 50% brand and 50% display. Every account is going to be slightly different. Every niche is going to be slightly different. Not every single product is going to be the same. So that is a average across the board, across 400 different accounts. You only get to an average like that if we do have some accounts that have a lot of sponsored brand, right? So we do have accounts where it's actually very similar to you in the sense that it's like a 60, 30, 10 split, right? And if that works for you, that's great. Keep it. But our general recommendation is just that for the average brand across the board. But sounds like you're anything but average. All right, we got vanity events. Got it. On the live call login. Thanks. I just couldn't find it anywhere, but now realize it's on YouTube every Friday, same time, same place. Same time, same place. Here every single Friday. All right, that was the last question. So we're going to make Sahil's day, and then we're gonna call it there. So let's head on over to Amazon here /TP/B0D77S3. Don't start throwing ASINs in here, people. We're not gonna be doing a ton of this. I'm doing a little pro bono because Sahil asked. Let's see here. All right, live ASIN review time. So first and foremost, we are selling a RFD blocking slim genuine leather wallet brown. Okay. Minimalist bifold design. Okay. We have this men's. Okay. Genuine 100% leather. So first thing I notice immediately is that your dimensions on your main image are off here. 2000 by 2000. Sahil, always, because Amazon, a lot of people have started to say like, oh, you should do 1500 by 2000 and things like that. That's wrong. The reason it's wrong is because Amazon auto corrects image sizing and DPI for mobile capacity. So doing like long main images like this, I don't think it serves any purpose. You still want to have that same main image size. Looking at this, full grain other, our versus other. I'm not a huge fan of the cropping on this image. It's also just kind of like looking at it. This just looks like a used wallet, which I don't really get. Full grain leather, okay. Large capacity design is what it is. I think this is okay. I would move this large capacity design to your second placement. Card info, RFID blocking technology. Okay. Slim wallet for men. Is this the actual sizing? This doesn't seem correct. If I'm like comparing that to like my phone, for instance, I feel like this is immediately wrong, but that also should probably tell me something if like I think this is wrong. Let's see. This is okay. I'm not a huge fan of it being very clearly photoshopped. Your imagery is just okay, in my opinion. That's kind of the first thing that I'm noticing here is that your imagery is just okay. I wouldn't, rave about this imagery in the slightest. Genuine 100% leather, I think that's good, but at the same time, it's like I would be curious. Have you gone through search query performance data? Have you looked at your competitor data? Is this an actual keyword that you should be going after? And usually, if you're trying to use things like this, I don't like to do fancy lettering for your main image CTR hack because you want it to be as legible as possible. Think of anyone who's buying on their phone, if they'd be able to read this super clearly when it's like the size. Get rid of this, the whole bold. It does nothing for you at the end of the day. Your brand story isn't bad. I like the brand story. You have some room, I would say, for, you need some alt text. I mean, you need to actually add alt text these so you have some indexing going on them. You do have alt text here. That's good. Good here, good here. A+ content isn't horrible. Very heavily edited in some capacity, so I'm iffy on this. I think this is nice, like these kind of pictures. This is really edited though. Overall, I don't think your listing is awful by any means, Sahil. I would, like said, really I would do a main image update here. I would have to look obviously at what your SEO is actually doing. You're not using as much as you can here in your keywords. So when you're like, it looks like you're not really selling anything right now. You should be maxing this out as much as possible. So you should be able to have around 1,000 characters minimum in this, and this is not 1,000 characters. I would max out your bullet points as much as you possibly can. I'd update your images. I would probably put this in image slot 2 immediately. The thing that's hard with this, it's a very generic product. There are a million leather wallets out there. If I just look up the keyword right now, like genuine leather wallet, it's going to have, we can look at how much search volume is here, but there's tons, right? So your product, there's not a ton of differentiation here, right? So you're not really differentiating yourself. I bet a lot of these are RFID blocking, so stay fine. Looks like this is honestly the exact same product, just missing the stamp. It's hard with generic products like these at the end of the day to have a really big differentiation feature. So your main differentiation is going to have to end up being price. And it looks like you are about double price of a lot of your competitors. So if that's not your main differentiation, you're really going to have to focus on things like a rest of search and really, really just showcase the product as like above the rest. Which it doesn't seem like you are. I would honestly take some of those stay fine and stuff, use those as examples of exactly what you should have your listing look like comparatively. And with that, I think we are, I think we're going to call it a day. Here. Yeah, okay, Sahil. Yeah, Sahil was the last thing. Cool. All right. Well, in that case, we're going to call it there. That was our Friday live Q&A. I appreciate everybody for joining in today. We will be live again next Friday, same time, 12 p.m. Eastern. For those who are uninitiated, head on over to myamazonguy.com. We are a full-service Amazon agency. We do everything cross-board. We also do direct-to-consumer, for that matter, off Amazon advertising. So we help brands as a brand accelerator, essentially try and grow in the ever-evolving e-commerce space. And all that being said, if you're interested, come check us out. We have a ton of information over on our website. Again, we'll be here next Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern, to answer any and all of your questions. Hope everyone has a great weekend ahead.